All right, happy Monday, friends. I'm very, very excited for our guest speaker. This is Chloe Baker. She is a one-star diamond coach, success starter. Those of you who don't know what a success starter is, it means 3 months of Success Club in your first 6 months. Probably when she started, it was just your first 3 months, like mine. So she didn't have 6 months to get success starter. She had to get 3 people 3 months in a row. She just graduated. She has her bachelor's of arts and she has her teaching credential. And this year was kind of like her mindset shift. I was talking to a friend of mine, her coach, and was like, I need somebody who can talk to my girls about this stuff. And so she's like, oh, Chloe has been just on fire, total shift in 2020. So we're going to give it over to her and let her share with you guys.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for inviting me to be on this call. I think when I was at the point where I looked up to coaches who were higher in the network and speaking on my team calls and things like that, I always thought what would I get asked to speak on? What would be my topic down the road when I make it as a coach? What would I be asked to speak on? And I've been asked to speak on leveling up and mindset shift and dropping your excuses over the past few months in 2020 of just doing that myself. And I'm so honored to be here and speak on that topic for you guys. So, I'm Chloe. I'm 23. I just finished my teaching credential. It's such a very awkward year with COVID. We didn't get to walk, so it was just this funky time where I'm like, what am I doing? Who am I? What's going on? And I just had to take control. So I'm going to share my screen. I think you have to do the settings for that. Okay, let me do that now. Perfect. Okay, so tonight I'm going to be talking to you guys a little bit about leveling up and dropping the excuses, but I am a one-star under Kate. Kate Schultes is my upline, and right now I'm not teaching. I chose to not teach my first year with it being COVID and the pandemic and all of the things going on. So right now I'm kind of just living that full-time coach life, and it's giving me a taste of everything I want in the future. So I was a success starter. I only had those 3 months to qualify with, and there was no test group opportunity. So for those of you who are newer coaches and can get yourselves to hit success starter, please, please, please do that. I have a few success starters on my team right now who are in the 9-week control freak test group, and I'm so jealous that I never had the opportunity. So run for that. But I started coaching in April of 2018, and I've been around for a while. So for me to be just a one-star diamond now was really a wake-up call and how I've kind of started to shift my mindset over the last year. So I was that tortoise in the hare race, and it really has created a huge mindset shift this year. So when I first started coaching, I hit the ground running. I hit Success Starter. I hit Emerald really quickly. I was gaining traction and signing people up, but all of a sudden I got comfortable and I was living inside this comfort zone for so long. I rode out Emerald and was just chilling in the background, cheering people on and cheering my friends on who were hitting big goals, but I wasn't really going anywhere until coming off of Summit in Indianapolis last year, and there was a huge retreat on the line that Kate was hosting in Scottsdale in October. So I was like, okay, quality time is my jam. I'm an Enneagram 2 who loves tough love, so be prepared. But I was like, I need to be there. I need to be there with my people. How do I get to this retreat? What do I do? So I just went all in, ran towards Diamond after Summit and then into the MM100 launch. That's what really propelled me to hit Diamond. And then I hit Diamond, earned the retreat, did that, and got comfortable and coasted and just, hang around as a diamond for a really long time. Now, if you've done the math, Emerald to Diamond was over a year. And then now Diamond to 1-star, which I think I hit back in August or July, something like that. That's over a year again, right? So it's these huge increments of time where I got really comfortable until January of this year. And I think that January was really like my huge wake up call. And if you hear me talk at all anywhere else, I always say I woke the F up in January. And this was because I started student teaching. And just came into the harsh realities of what the teaching world is like that they don't tell you about in college, and working in a low income Title I school where you don't have the resources, your kids don't have the resources, they don't have the families that can give them what they need. And then you have to do everything else on top of that. Plus, your income is decided based on how long you go to school and how long you've worked and all of the things that all of a sudden I woke up and was like, wait, I just went to school for 5 years and you're going to cap me at $40,000 in my first year of teaching? Like, throw up, right? That made me want to puke, because there are people out there who go to school for the same amount of time and make way more than that. But I know that it had to do with the impact and why I chose teaching, and then now why I chose coaching as well. So I got really real with where I was projected in my life, and I wanted to make sure that I was in teaching because I wanted to be in teaching and not because I was forced to teach to make an income and live in California on a teacher's salary. Like, it's just not doable. But in January, I just had been skating by and expected to wake up January 1st and have the floodgates magically open with all of these people coming to me who wanted to sign up, who wanted to start coaching, who wanted to do all the things. But I'm here to tell you from experience that that does not happen. You don't just magically wake up after doing no work the past months and months and months to people who want to sign up. That doesn't happen. And so in January, I was like, okay, I need to make a shift. Like, this isn't something that I want to continue in my business. This isn't something that can keep happening for me to grow and in order to make those dreams that I had for my future come true. So I had to ask myself, are you doing the work that you're saying you're doing? Like, was I actually doing the bat? Was I actually hopping on team calls? Was I actually 100% committed to my own health and fitness journey? Absolutely not. I wasn't doing those things, but I was expecting the results to come through on that when I wasn't doing those things. So asking yourself those hard questions can be tough, but it's what I needed to take a step forward and really start to grow. So 3 things, I've kind of racked my brain and thought of the 3 things that got me to this new mindset shift and really just running towards becoming the coach that I wanted to be and becoming the coach that I wanted to attract. And number 1 was deciding to go for it, deciding to actually go for the goal that I had set. Because so many times before that, I had decided, or not decided, I had said I wanted to hit Diamond. I had said that I wanted to hit 1-star. I had said that I wanted to grow this big team. I had said that I wanted to go full-time someday, X, Y, and Z, but I wasn't doing the actions it took to match those goals. So deciding to go for it and finding a pace that matches the goals that you have, because you could want to just have this as a side hustle and change 3 people's lives a month and cover your products and have a little bit extra for your nails and hold yourself accountable, just like I did when I first started. But I know that some of you do want to make this full time. Some of you do want this to be what brings you home to your kids or your future kids. I know that you do want these big, huge goals, but you have to find a pace that matches it. So deciding to actually do the work. And for me, that's the bat. Like, that's not something that I wanted to hear. And it's something that I just didn't believe for the longest time. I wanted some magical potion that was going to get me to the goals that I wanted. But in reality, it's the bat. And so we get so hyped up. We get so hyped up for working hard and running towards goals and doing all the things, but then we get burnt out, right? And then we fall off, and then we get tired, and then we don't do the things, and then it's one day of 0 invites, and then it's one day of 300 invites, and then it's one day of not working out, and then it's a day of doing 3 workouts to catch up. Like, it's just back and forth, and it's this rocky roller coaster of going all in, stepping back out, going all in, stepping back out, when in reality, we just need to be steadfast, because consistency, and what I'm going to talk about next, is what is the secret sauce. So once you get consistent, that's when you can ramp it up. So find out what your base level is. Find out what that survival checklist is that you can do every single day to stay consistent, and decide that you're actually going to go for it. Finding the things that you can do daily to build your confidence, because I know when I'm consistent AF doing all of the things to grow my business and get it to where I want to be, I start to be really confident. And then when I'm really confident, I show up for my team really confident, and I show up on my stories really confident. And then people are attracted to that confidence and want to join you. But you have to get to the point where you're doing those daily consistent actions to build that confidence. And then from there, you can have it stack. So once you get consistent, you can add a couple more invites on, or get on your stories a couple more times, or create more posts, just building from there. But you have to find the pace that you want to match your goals. Number 2 is recognizing the small wins and being consistent. So have a couple things that you can control every day and do them. I've already said this, do the bat. I know it's not what we want to hear. It's not what I wanted to hear for the longest time, like probably a good year and a half. I was like, nah, we're good. They say that, but I'm going to figure it out some other way. Definitely not true. Do the bat. It's created by people who have already tried it and done it. It's the thing that will get you to where you want to be. But your thoughts create your emotions, which drive your actions. So finding small wins along the way is what's going to build confidence. And I know that when we have huge goals, when we have big dreams, these small little wins don't really seem significant, because it may not seem like you're getting anywhere fast. But we do need to take a step back and really recognize those small wins, because this is the journey. This journey is going to be for life, for me at least. I hope you guys are lifers too. But this is for life, right? So if we're not recognizing those small, consistent wins, then we're just in this for what this produces and not the journey along the way. So tell yourself, I'm proud of you for just every day, and whether it's during your PD time or your morning routine or whatever you do, tell yourself that you're proud of yourself for something, because it feels good, even if it's not from somebody else, to be told that you are making yourself proud. And then number 3 is just develop the belief that this will benefit you, because right now, and I can tell you from experience, this is a planting season. Right now, these last couple months of the year, where it seems to slow down and there's a whole lot of holidays happening and people seem to not care as much about their health and fitness until that New Year's resolution wave comes around. It's hard. It's just hard. And it's a planting season. And in this business, there is a delay on the return, right? So the work that you're doing now, 2 or 3 months in advance, is what success you're going to see come January, come February, come our launch for 9-week Control Freak. You need to be doing the things now. Because I've been that coach that takes a step back in the holidays and then loses all that momentum, loses all that traction that I got myself during that summer, and then just falls off and expects it to come back around in January. And then I'm back to 0 because it doesn't come back around. Consistency builds belief. So consistency works hand in hand with belief. If you're consistent, like I said, it creates that confidence, and then that belief in this business is going to come. Unfortunately, we don't have a whole lot of live events right now, but if you can get yourself in the future to any sort of live event, I highly recommend, because it's just different. being in a room full of coaches with drive and passion and ambition for this business than it is sometimes face-to-face on Zoom, even though that's as best as we can get right now. But live events will definitely change your business too. When I first decided to make this shift in January, I was a team of 2. It was me and my now diamond coach, Jasmine, who was just there. Like, she was a lifer. I could tell she was a lifer, but like, I wasn't leading. I wasn't leading her, and I wasn't giving her a reason to show up and really step into the potential that she needed to build the business that she wanted. So when I made the choice to really go all in, it showed her that she could too. You have to lead from the front. And even if you don't have a team, you need to show up for that future team that you want to attract, because everybody's watching you. Even when you don't think that people are watching you, or they're not liking your stuff, or your story views are gone down because of the algorithm, X, Y, and Z, all the excuses, people are still there watching you. And people talk too. Like, I've had friends, aunts at a family party who come to me and say, you know, you've motivated me to get up and do a walk every day. And while that's not a challenge pack, that's not going to get me any Success Club points, that's not going to help me hit 2-star, 3-star, whatever, that's making an impact. And I think that sometimes we forget the impact that we are trying to make as coaches. Coaches are what make us different. We can go out to Target and we can find some protein powder. We can go to the gym and have exercise equipment. We can go wherever and find these little tidbits that we offer through Beachbody. But there's nothing else out there that has coaches who are real people like us, who genuinely care about our clients and our customers. So be the difference. You guys know that you are capable. I'm sure your coach tells you all of the time that you are so incredibly capable of what you want out of this business. But belief and believing in yourself is really what's going to help you reach those goals and get to where you want to be. I tell my team, use the energy that you used to complain towards actually doing the work. And it might sound harsh, especially out of an Enneagram 2 over here, but sometimes my wing 3 shows real strong, and you just have to have that little bit of tough love because it gets you right back on track. But for me, I've just started to make non-negotiables in this business. While it's not a numbers business all the time, it is at the end of the day to grow your business. So Success Club is a non-negotiable. I'll tell you right now that September, October were so hard for me. I almost didn't hit. And then on the last day of the month, I texted my team and I said, I'm getting on a 3-hour power hour. We're going to sit down and we're just going to go for it. Okay. If I don't hit, I don't hit. It's not going to be the end of the world. But I told myself, Success Club is a non-negotiable. So I'm going to do everything in my power to hit those goals. September and October, I hit on the very last day. Is that something we want to shoot for? Definitely not, because it's stressful and you don't get to focus on all of the fun things in this business. But when you decide to go for your goals, you can't let yourself down. Because from me, like in the past, before Beachbody, before coaching, I was a chronic quitter. I let myself down over and over and over again until it got to be the norm. And so when I let myself down, it just was no big deal anymore until I decided to stop. And so when I woke up in January, I had decided I am going to be an SC all-star by the end of this year. I want that Theragun. Shoot. Give me that Theragun. I want that, right? So that's why I was like, let's do this. You're going for it. You're not going to give up. You're committing to yourself. And so even when it was hard, even it was down to the last hour, the last couple minutes of the month, going for it and proving to yourself that, you know what, I can do this if I actually put my mind to it and put in the action that it takes, you can reach those goals. And now in November, with, you know, No Excuse November and all the things that Beachbody provides us as coaches to help us out, Beachbody recognizes that these months have been hard. So for them to release No Excuse November in October, that was what got me to Success Club. And now it being all month long, hitting Success Club, I think I hit yesterday or the day before. Now I get to focus on the fun stuff, like these calls and like working with my team and all of the things. So once you get past that initial stress of the small stuff, the number stuff, like this business really gets fun. And we have these crockpot goals with microwave patience. And I think it's so funny because I've heard people say we have Amazon Prime patience nowadays because we expect things to happen so quickly, but this is a business. Like this is your business. And if you're not treating it like you're a CEO of a business, then you don't have a business. So you really have to truly believe that you are in charge of your own fate. You'll never hear someone brag about how easy it was. I think it's Keisha Fitzgerald who has the Empower Her podcast. She says easy robs you of proud, right? You're never going to hear somebody say, oh my gosh, girl, that workout was so easy. You have to try it. Like you're never going to hear anybody say that. You're going to hear some people say, oh my gosh, that workout was so hard. I almost died. And my dog's letting herself in. Anyways. But you have to do it like you're going to love it, right? You're never going to brag about how easy it was. And you have to remember that in this business as well. Create long-term belief through consistency over time. That is how we're going to create sustainable results. So, close the door. But creating that belief over and over again through PD, and I didn't take PD seriously when I first started as a coach. I wish I would have because I feel like that belief factor would have came sooner. But PD is so important. Don't write it off. You have time. If you can't read, listen. You have audio books, you have Audible, you have podcasts, you have all the things that you can do to listen to books if you don't have the time to sit down and actually read. But PD is just so, so important. Okay. And then lastly, I want you to just think about like, what's the alternative to not going for your goals and your dreams that you have in this business? Because for me right now, I think the main driving factor is not necessarily like wanting to get to 2-star or wanting to get to all of these shiny little accolades in this business. I think of who I was before Beachbody 2.5 years ago. The Chloe of 2018 who was 30 pounds heavier and super stressed all the time, had multiple anxiety attacks all the time, was just dealing with college and life and not knowing where I was supposed to be and what I was supposed to be doing, because that's the alternative. Quitting on myself now, quitting on yourself in this business, you were begging to be at this point when you first started. So quitting on yourself is just bringing you back there. I don't want to have shoulda, coulda, wouldas. I don't want to die with this potential that I have inside myself that I can feel. You guys aren't here on accident. You don't show up to team calls on accident. You don't invite people or do the bat or talk to your team or mentor coaches on accident just for fun. I mean, it is fun, and I would definitely say like this is the best job I've ever had, but you don't do it just for, oh my goodness, my dog. Hold on. She's a very needy 4-year-old rescue pup that likes to be in and out all the time. But thinking about the alternative, there's someone out there that needs you. There's someone out there who needs this, and you may not have talked to them yet. You may not have come into contact with them yet, but you have to believe, and that's going back to developing the belief that this will benefit you. You also have to develop the belief that this will benefit others as well. We have our join date and we have our start date. For me, my join date was April 18th, 2018. My start date was January 1st, 2020 of this year. So maybe you have a join date. Maybe you haven't started yet. Maybe you're on this team call and you're like, oh man, I haven't even started yet. And that's okay. Because for me, that was almost 2 years into my business. That's okay. If you look at top coaches in the network, nobody looks the same. Nobody comes from the same walk of life. Nobody has the same families. Nobody has the same hair color, eye color, skin color, whatever. And I think that's what I love about Beachbody so much, is that I can see myself in the top 10. I can see myself being an elite coach. I can see myself fitting into this community that we have because it doesn't look the same. And so you have to imagine yourself there. Maybe your belief isn't there yet, but I sure know that your coach's belief is there. And I rode on my coach's coattails of belief for 2 years, almost 2 years into my business. So lean into your team, lean into what is provided until you're ready to start believing in yourself. And then you can really ramp it up from there. But number one was decide what you want. So what's your why? Think about what your why is for this business. What do you really, really want? And I'm not saying like surface level, what's your why? I'm saying like, what do you really want if you didn't hold yourself back, if money were no object, if X, Y, and Z just magically lined up into place? Like, where do you see yourself in this business in 10 years? Number two, consistency, doing the bat, but also doing the bat with intention, because we can sit there and we can check off the boxes on the bat. I did 5 invites. I did 10, whatever. I did stories. I did my workout. I did my shake. Okay, I'm done. I did the bat. I should be further in my business. But if you're not doing it with intention, you're not going to get to where you want to be. So doing the bat, creating consistency, and doing it with intention, and then doing the work to just start believing in yourself and really leaning into PD. I also highly recommend finding people who are like a little bit further along in your business than you are and working with them. Because when you work with people who are further behind you, you go down to that level, right? And that's okay. That's okay that they're not where you are yet, but you need to be working with somebody who's at your level or a little bit further. That's like the sweet spot. And I found that that's really where my business transformed as well, is when I started to work with the working and not just with the willing. So those 3 things really have transformed me to where my mindset is today, and just really going for it. Like, you can't be 1 foot in, 1 foot out. You just have to believe that this does work and that you are so incredibly worthy of it working out. But let me stop sharing my screen. That's basically all I have for you guys, but I wanted to leave like a couple minutes for questions or anything like that if you have them. And you can just put them in the chat or unmute yourselves, whatever. Super laid back call.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Hi.
Hi.
Yes, you're good.
Do you keep your bat, like, since you're a teacher, do you have it like bound in like in a spiral?
I do. So in the beginning of the year, I had it bound. And so you can see, like, I don't think there's this many weeks left in the year, but I have been bouncing back and forth between a different bats. But yeah, so getting it bound, I feel like has really worked for me, because you can just stick it in your bag, pull it out throughout the day, check it off as you go, and keep track of it. I think being honest with yourself on your bat has been the biggest eye-opener for me, because when I said I was doing the things, I'd be like, okay, let me just check off all these boxes. My coach wants me to post a picture. Like, sweet, I'm gonna pretend I'm doing all the things. But being honest with yourself and being able to go back to the weeks that you've already done in this book has been helpful to really see, like, because of the numbers. So if I go back to my bat a couple weeks ago, okay, was I doing all the things to match what my Success Club numbers are, what my recruiting numbers are? I think it's just really helpful to get it bound. So if you're thinking about doing that for 2021, that would be a good idea too.
Thank you.
Of course. What is your favorite PD book? My all-time favorite PD book is You Are Badass by Jen Sincero. It's pretty popular, I feel like, just because it's so good and it's been around for a while. I feel like that's like the best, well-rounded, like touch on everything type of PD book. Her You Are a Badass at Making Money was really good, like business-wise. I always recommend reading something for personal development and professional development at the same time, just because you can't get what you need professionally from a personal development book, and you can't get what you need business-wise from a personal. So I really love that one. I also just finished Hello Fears by Michelle Poler. It's actually right here. I'll show you guys. I don't have the actual cover on it, but it's really pretty. If I were to show you, it's like colorful and pretty. And this breaks down like fears and breaking through fears and just breaking through your comfort zone, which is really good too. What else? We have 6 minutes according to our Zoom countdown. I got that teacher wait time too. Can wait for as long as you need. Okay, with the last couple minutes, I want to know from you guys, like, what are your big 2021 puke goals? Meaning, like, I maybe haven't even said this out loud. I maybe haven't even told my coach yet. I maybe haven't told my success partners yet or my team or anything, but in a perfect world, ending 2021 next year, where would you be at? Put it in the chat. Love that. 2 stars where it's at. That's what I'm pushing for too. 5-star, so good. 5-star elite, yes. 5-star elite. Yep, I'm right there too. 5-star elite for next year. Yep. So good. Yeah, and I always recommend the 12-week year. I don't know who it's by, but it's more like leadership, professional development. Read that either now or early 2021, because it really reframes your goal setting and like how quickly you can do things. So I highly recommend that book too, just because if you read it and then you can hit like quarter goals instead of just will you be? Yes, I will be at NLC. I'm very sad that it's not in person. Just because I was looking forward to that, and your hotel is paid for and all the things, but I will be there virtually, so that'll be super fun. I'm excited. I actually went to leadership as Kate's guest in last month in October, and that was really, really fun too. So that's a goal for me as well.
Well, thank you so much. Sorry, she's being super loud. Thank you
worries.
so much for coming on and sharing. I appreciate it. I've got several really, really good nuggets, and I loved the like your join date and your start date. Like everybody can restart, everybody can take from now on, and you don't have to wait till 2021 to get that bound. Like we still have plenty of 2020 left. It's amazing what you can do in the next, they're like 8 weeks.
45 days.
Yeah, 9 weeks. You guys can do this 8 weeks.
Yes.
Thank you so much. She's being so crazy today.
No, you're good. I'm so glad that I was here with you guys, and I hope you got something out of it. And if you ever want to connect on social, my IG handle is baker.chloe. So if you want to connect, I'm always around. But I hope you guys have a great night, and thank you so much.